Hi, it's Gary, here with day number 14 of the Diamine Inkvent calendar. Let's jump on in and we'll find the door. Easy to find right at the top. There we go. Top right hand side, day number 14. Let's open it up and see what we've got. Rainbow's End. Oh, wonder if we have to avoid a leprechaun as well as the elves that Santa's sending out. This looks like a bit like a purpley one, doesn't it? Let's move the calendar out of the way. So Rainbow's End. Nice like pale bluey purple there on the label. And if we look to the side, we've got a chameleon ink. And if we look there, that chameleon, I can see pinks and I can see purple around here and then pink down here at the bottom. Let's start to agitate it. Let's get this nicely mixed up. Whilst I'm giving that an old shake, in comes my swatch card, colouring card. So these are the cards that I use for all my ink swatches. Still got a little bit of purple on there. Here we go. Oh, that last of that chameleon's now in suspension. So one final really good shake. In comes the swatching tool, a cotton bud. So I'm going to dip that in. I'm going to get right down to the bottom and give it a good stir around just in case any of that chameleon has settled. So I'm giving it the best chance to get as much of that chameleon on as I can. So this is a very deep purple. It reminds me a little bit of Monboddo's hat, the way it's coming off. Also, it's a bit like a violety colour. Be interesting to see what this one's like when it dries. I think I'll have a few comparisons to this one. Nice purple colour though. Single pass there. Seems very liquidy. I know it's ink, it's a liquid, but it seems liquidy as I'm putting it down with that Q-tip, with that cotton bud. Let's do some writing on there, so I'm just going to dip the pen in. So we've got Diamine, Rainbow's End. And this is Inkvent, day 14. 2023. I know I wrote it wrong. I don't know. I can't be trusted to do anything, can I? Let's move this out of the way and give it a chance to dry. I've already seen some of that chameleon coming through. So whilst that's drying, in comes the Endless Recorder notebook, 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. So I'll dip my Serendipity dip pen again. This is a broad-nibbed, broad Yoho nib on this pen. So we've got day number 14. Diamine. Rainbow's End. Nice bluey purple as I'm writing with it. But then let's see what it's like when it's dry. That'll be what's interesting. Drying times. That was immediate. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. 1 minute. Still fairly wet after a minute. I've just put the lid back on. I'm just giving it another shake because a lot of that had settled. Mainly because in my writing, I want to try and see if I can capture some of the chameleon. So I'm going to dip the nib in again and then write a sentence. Should be nice and wet, so hopefully we should get some chameleon on here. Quite nice, writes really nicely. Feels very lubricated, so it comes off the nib very easily. Let's move this to one side. Can we see? Yeah, we can start seeing some of that chameleon already. Let's give that a chance to fully dry. Whilst it's drying, in comes the chocolate calendar. Cadbury's chocolate, day number 14. Where are you on here? Day 14, found you. There we go. Nearly in the middle on the left-hand side. Let's get on in. What's the picture? Oh, give a Christmas hug. Not to me though, I don't like being hugged at all. So that one, not really any use to me. So what have we got in here? Oh, we've got another Chewbacca. A gingerbread man. There we go. Pop that to one side for later. And we'll open the gift from my loving wife. So fairly light feeling box this time. I hope there's nothing breakable because I've just dropped it. Nice box. Let's see what we've got inside it. Well, we've got a box. Look at that. And we've got a barcode even. Let's see, what have we got here? Talking about Chewbacca. This is a Chewbacca light. So it's like a night light. I've got some other ones. I actually received a Stormtrooper one earlier on during Inkvent. So this will go really nicely with that and with my Yoda and Grogu there. I do like them. They're nice, decorative, and they're useful because, you know, pop these on during the power cut. We have them quite frequently here. They're quite handy. Give a little bit of light. So I'll pop that to one side and we'll fetch the swatch card back. So here we go. So Diamine Rainbow's End. Purple there, we can see that. Yeah, I think it's more like a violet purple. But look at this chameleon. It looks very, very pink to me. Then with little bits of like a purple in there as well. Very pretty. I hope this is coming over on the camera for you so you can see this as well as I can. Some comparison inks. Well, I've got quite a few which are similar in tone. The first one, Diamine Festive Joy. Bit of a more purpley type ink, and this one's got a sheen rather than a shimmer or a chameleon. But I thought that's my first one. My second one, as I mentioned, this reminded me a bit of Monbodo's hat. But now when I see them close together, Monbodo's hat, a lot darker purple and a lot darker ink. Still quite nice though. I like Monbodo's hat. I use that in quite a lot of my pens. Next up comes Diamine Violet. This one, I don't know, maybe it's just the trickle light. It looks like it's got a bit of a silver sheen. But the base colour, if you can see there, does look very similar. This is why I think this Rainbow's End, a bit of a violet-y type colour. And then the final one, Noodler's North African Violet. Base colour-wise, very, very close. The North African Violet, again, a little bit to me more purple, but getting very close. No shimmer in this, though. It's just a standard ink. Let's look at the chromatography. Let's swap these around. So the chromatography strip's still wet. So you can see here where I've put the line at the bottom, it's left behind some of them shimmer, them chameleon particles. We've got an awful lot of blue. It's a very blue-based ink. The top, got this gorgeous pink. And then I think, not 100% certain on this, it could be because it's still wet. I see a little teeny bit of yellow right at the top. But that, I say that could be because the paper's still wet and it may vanish as it dries out. So that's chromatography. Let's look back in that Tomoe River notebook. Here we go. Day number 14, Rainbow's End. So lots of that violet colour, that purple colour. Where I'd gone really wet here after I'd re-dipped it, in Grumpy and Wizards can see a load of that chameleon coming out. Bit there in Make and a Toxic. Once we get onto the second line, not really seeing any of that chameleon, so need to make sure your nib's wet. So ideally you want a really wet writing pen with this ink. Even where I've wrote the name, Diamine Rainbow's End, I'm not seeing any of that chameleon on there at all. So this is Diamine Inkvent 2023, Day 14, Rainbow's End. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. What are your thoughts on this ink? What inks have you got that's similar to it? I love this chameleon. What do you feel about the chameleon? Please drop a comment down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.